Alex Hormozi just did something disgusting. He just made over $100 million in 72 hours selling a book. The business world is freaking out. This is like seeing Michael Jordan drop 200 points in a game or something. But while 2 million people witnessed this launch live, 99% of people are missing the one reason why he was actually able to pull it off. And I know you're thinking, no, it's not the marketing, it's not his funnels, and honestly, it's not even the offer itself. It's with something that he has been making deposits into for the past 7 years. In fact, we didn't really see him sell at this launch. We saw him cash in. And that thing is social leverage. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what that is and how he did it so you can copy him and apply it to your personal brand, your YouTube channel, your business, so you can do the same. Effortlessly make sales, effortlessly grow, so you can unlock the same ability to just, at the snap of a finger, generate life-changing revenue and have people love you for it. And if you stick to the end, I'm exposing 3 of the hidden strategies that he used on his launch that you can literally turn around and use tomorrow. And some other goodies that I have, so stick around. And the only reason I know this and was able to spot it is because I have been building social leverage and using the same tactics Hormozi uses to build multiple 6-figure businesses, get a YouTube channel over 250,000 subscribers, and get what I really wanted the entire time. It was just freedom, the ability to be a creator, live wherever I want, work wherever I want, talk about whatever I want. But first, I need you to understand 2 things about Hormozi. 1, he is not naturally some master content creator, master marketer, or master influencer. In fact, he has said that he is not a naturally positive person by default. He is literally self-described as a nihilist. He's probably an atheist. And even within his businessacquisition.com, he is not a people person. He is not front-facing inside. It's actually his wife, Layla Hormozi, that helps everyone, is bubbly, is friendly, and is a great leader. Second, Hormozi is not some business god that descended from the heavens to save us. He does have a great worth ethic, but what he did was he studied the greats before him and unlocked massive amounts of data that he can now use to make decisions from every step of the process in his business, with his brand, on his YouTube channel. But I say this because it's very common with creators, with personal brands, with business people to think, oh, that person has this magical trait that I'll never be able to unlock. When that makes no sense. It's not the case. And if you copy what we're going to discuss in this video, you too can start building social leverage and cashing in. But alright, I've edged you long enough. What the fuck is social leverage? So as you know, leverage is essentially just the ability to get more out of what you put in. For example, you can imagine a big seesaw. You got this fulcrum in the middle. That's what that is called, by the way, a fulcrum. Fun fact. And leverage is simply how long the lever right here is, because if the lever is really short, you have to put immense amounts of force, of weight, onto this to move something like a big heavy box or whatever. But the longer a lever is, and the further away from you the fulcrum is, the easier, the lighter, the less amount of effort it takes to move something. Basically, it means you put in less effort, you get more results because you have massive amounts of leverage helping you. And if you're Alex Hormozi, that looks like having so much leverage that you just have to do a little book launch, sell a couple things, do a little live stream, and all of a sudden, boom, 100 mil in the bank. But even just a little bit of leverage can help you make, oh, I don't know, 10K a month, 100K a year, $1 million, something like that. I mean, what, you can't do 1% of what Alex Hormozi has done? Come on, believe in yourself. But while for the longest time, leverage was only unlocked through having a lot of money so you can pay for people or resources to help you do the things you want to do, now in the attention economy, in the creator economy, we have unlocked something that's even more valuable. Really the ultimate thing to build if you want to succeed online, and that is social leverage. But it can actually be broken down into a simple equation, and that is reach times trust times activation times spread. Starting with reach, which is attention. This is the views. This is the impressions you get on your content, on anything you put out online. Then we have trust, which is your perceived authority or competence, your proof, and your intention, which we'll talk a lot about later. Activation is essentially how close the audience's current problems match the offer, the thing he was selling to them or offering to them. And finally, the spread. This is the distribution of you, of your brand, of your business, of your personal brand across mediums, across media, and across platforms. And this transcends content. In the context of Hormozi, he had press publications talking about him. He had affiliates spreading his offer. He has peers that tell everyone about his offer. Essentially, these nodes that spread awareness about him or his offers for him. That's an advanced thing. You don't have to worry about that right now, unless you got the money to spend. And social leverage does not build like a checking account where you put one in, then another in, then another in, and it builds up one by one by one over time, it compounds like an investment or some high yields account, meaning you could put 1 in, then 2 in, then 3 in, and over time, it keeps multiplying within itself. Because with each and every action you take, with each and every piece of content you upload, you are multiplying your reach, you are multiplying your trust, you are multiplying the activation and the spread, which is why Hormozi spent around 4 million on ads. He's probably invested a couple million on his content team and YouTube and whatnot throughout the years, and it compounded and multiplied into that crazy 100 million. I think it's $105 million generated from those books right now. And $6,000 of that is mine. I actually bought the bonus books and all that as well. So I have 200 books to spare. But speaking of that, the only way you can have true trust and activation to build that social leverage is by having a deep, concentrated knowledge of your audience avatar. This is the person you make content for. This is the person you sell to. This is the person you see when you look into the camera. I'm not looking into a camera right now. I'm looking at you because you are my avatar. Therefore, every word I type in my hooks, in my titles, every image I choose for my thumbnails, every aspect I use to create offers and products has you in mind. It is passing through the filter of the avatar. And if you do not have complete clarity on this, you're just not going to make it. So if you want to build out your avatar and instantly have 10x the amount of impact with your titles, with your hooks, with your ads, with your content, with whatever it is you want to build and sell and market and whatever, then grab my audience avatar generator in the description. It's completely free. And like I just said, I have 200 of Alex Hormozi's new book to give away. So I'm actually going to choose some people who get the audience avatar generator in this video. I'm going to send you a link to get the book for free. So you're probably realizing by now the answer isn't some magic new tactic. It's not some new content strategy. It's not some new funnel. The answer to making the income you want, to spreading your business or your personal brand, or getting the views you want, or the subscribers you want, to have people literally go out and talk about you on their own, market for you on their own because they love you so much, is through building immense amounts of social leverage. But cool, now we understand leverage. What tactics do we actually use to build that leverage? What is things we can literally just copy and paste that I have done, that Hormozi has done, that we can use in our own content with our own brands? He built it by using what I call Hormozi's holy trinity. And the first point of the trinity is contrarianism. So while Hormozi was making content for a while, I remember when he really started popping off and I started watching his content. And the reason I was watching his content is because something about it just felt different, new, fresh, and also something about him felt more trustworthy than all of the other business gurus online at the time. And that is because he was saying things that were directly contradictory to what the majority of people say in the industry. I mean, for the longest time, his whole thing in his intros on his branding was, I have nothing to sell you, which is a massive change of pace compared to the majority of gurus online. Everyone's selling you this like business course, you know, that you're used to watching Aman Geji trying to shill you some agency course or something, or some other guru trying to get you to go to their seminar where they then try to sell you something on stage. Hormozi's just like, hey, here it is. I'm not going to sell you anything right now. Keyword right now. And it reflected in the very content he produced. You didn't see him posting top 5 wealth secrets or the 5 best business models or how to get to 10K a month dropshipping. No, it was harsh truths. It was direct tactics that you could actually implement into whatever business you were trying to build. And beyond all that, it was real. He was telling you his own experiences, his own failures, and you instantly related to him more. And like I said at the time, this was a big refresher compared to the majority of content in that industry. And this was doing 2 things: capturing the attention of and building the trust of his audience avatar, which was anywhere from beginner to advanced business owners, entrepreneurs, which at this point were sick and tired of shallow, surface level content that was just used as a marketing tactic to sell a course. This is also a key pillar that I tell everyone to do when they are trying to build a brand, especially a personal brand. Think about the biggest personal brands online, the majority of them, not the ones that get a lot of views, but the ones that actually have a cult-like following and a real business on the back end. Basically split everyone in half that comes across them. You either love this person or you hate them. And you want that. You do not want everyone to be like, that guy's okay. You want half of the people to be like, this is my guy. I am riding or dying for him. And you want the other half to be like, I don't like this guy at all. He said stuff that I don't agree with. Because being polarizing activates the reticular activation system within people's brains and instantly captures their attention. So all you have to do to implement this for yourself is identify practices or beliefs in your industry or sayings that other faces in the industry are saying that you don't necessarily necessarily agree with, and just come out and say that you don't agree with these things, or come out and say the true thing or the opposite thing, but be sure to defend it. You need to give your viewers ammo to defend the new perspectives that you have given them. For example, on my other channel, when I wanted to make a video about how to actually wake up early, I knew that the majority of content, the majority of gurus were saying, oh, have these crazy morning routines. So because I didn't inherently agree with that, I came out and said, you don't need a routine. And that video got hundreds of thousands of views. But the thing is, we can't stop there. I've seen a lot of people, especially on Twitter, for some reason, they're like, oh, I say contrarian thing and I get likes. And they're just like, they just say the opposite of what everyone's thinking or what everyone agrees with to farm engagement. They never build a real brand. They don't actually have people that like them or want to buy from them. You need the other two. So moving on to the next point, you need a degree of altruism. This is part of the equation I was talking about earlier here with intention. Altruism is essentially a good intention. You hope for the goodwill of your audience. This is the other half of why Hormozi would always say, I have nothing to sell you in his content. I just want to help every business owner. I just want to help you make $1 million. He was playing on the viewer's sense of altruism. He was poising himself as an altruistic figure. And he repeated this over and over and over, and his content gave away value that most people sell behind paywalls and in courses and whatnot. He just taught it for free. But to top it all off, he has ensured over the years to never let that veil, never let that feeling of altruism slip from his brand. Compare him to another make money online guru, sometimes a direct competitor with him, Aman Geji. Aman Geji has had certain things happen with his NFTs or his launches or his offers or his products or whatever that has harmed his brand and poised him as less of an altruistic creator compared to Hormozi. And you can see this directly when people talk about Hormozi in YouTube comments. They're like, oh, he's the best, he's better than all these other gurus, he's better than all these other creators, because their brain has inflated their perspective on Hormozi compared to all the other creators, gurus, teachers in the space. And not only that, it makes it incredibly hard for any of his competitors or any other teachers to then throw rocks at him because he's just too far up. They just can't quite nick at him. And all of his audience will gladly jump into the fight and defend him. And they just got this big old shield that blocks all those rocks. So the easiest way you can implement altruism into your brand is to simply have a core reason why. Why is it you make the content you make? Why is it you sell the things you sell? Have a true, deep purpose behind it and talk about it. Tell people why. Give them an actual reasoning so it clicks in their brain and doesn't feel like another lie like all these other creators. But beyond that, the main thing that really built this sense of altruism around Hormozi is actually the third point, and that is value. And I say value with quotations because the majority of people don't actually know what value means when it comes to content with brand, because value does not equal information. Information is everywhere. You can ask ChatGPT, you can Google it, you can buy every book ever about everything. It's kind of like popsicle sticks. Imagine if I came to your home and I just gave you a bunch of popsicle sticks. Here you go, a bunch of popsicle sticks. There you go. You're gonna be like, okay, I guess this is worth something. I don't really know which popsicle sticks. How do I build the thing I want to build? How do I use this for something? Whereas, imagine if I came to your house and gave you a replica of the Eiffel Tower made out of popsicle sticks. It's the same popsicle sticks. It's the same value, right? Well, why do you value the other one more? Because it wasn't about the popsicle sticks. It's about how I assorted it and displayed it and delivered it to you. It is the same with information. Hormozi was not only doing, like I said, taking a lot of value, a lot of good knowledge and experiences and telling it to people for free. He made it as sexy, as digestible, as direct, as consumable as possible. He literally says all the time in content that he writes all his content, he makes all his things at a third grade reading level so that any and everyone can comprehend it. Because he knows that the value isn't dumping a bunch of knowledge, it's not saying a bunch of crazy fancy words and equations and whatnot. It is understanding the avatar, understanding their problem, and giving them the information in the best way possible. It's high value, high quality information because it's specialized knowledge, but through simple communication. It's the same reason why earlier, to explain leverage, I gave you a very shitty drawing of a seesaw to explain it so you can comprehend it as easily as possible. So in your content, it's not enough to just know some things and yap about it and, oh, where are my subscribers? Where's my social leverage? Where's my monies? It is that you have to take those popsicle sticks and put them in the right order as clearly as possible for your audience, for your customers. This is the exact same reason why his books do so well, because he worked ruthlessly to eliminate as much fluff as possible and to explain these singular concepts as clearly as possible with his entire book series. And that's why people say, oh my gosh, I read his book and I got all these results. It's not like Hormozi magically invented new business models, new business concepts that didn't exist before. He just took the information and made it more valuable because it was clearer. But not only did he have this holy trinity, he multiplied it through sheer presence. You just straight up see him a lot. He has a lot of tweets. He has a lot of Instagram reels. He has a lot of YouTube videos going out, a lot of YouTube shorts going out at all times. And this plays on two cognitive biases. This plays on the recency bias, meaning the most recent information you've heard, your brain overvalues compared to information it heard in the past, and the exposure bias, which basically just means the longer you hang around someone, the more you like them. This is why you have all these really good friends in school and then you graduate and you never talk to them again, because you actually only like them due to the exposure bias. And I know what you're thinking, I'm too small, or I don't have the funds to post on all 3 million different platforms there are nowadays. Yes, you're actually right. Hormozi's volume amount is disgusting. He has a crazy, massive team that is just constantly pumping out content on all ends. It's like hundreds and hundreds of pieces a week, or maybe even a day at this point. But who said you have to do it at that scale? What is stopping you from taking, say, a long-form YouTube video you made and just posting it over on Facebook, or literally just copy and pasting your video's transcript into an AI like Claude or ChatGPT and turning it into an email newsletter, or just posting some freaking Instagram stories throughout the day to let people know you're alive and you're human and you're doing stuff. Because, to directly quote Hormozi, volume negates luck. The more volume you have, the more data you get, the better decisions you make, the faster you can improve. And of course, the more social leverage you build. But before I expose the 3 hidden tactics he used directly in his launch, you can just copy and paste right now if you want. I want you to take notice that Hormozi did not make this money off of some flashy new business model like, oh, this new AI operating, AI software, blah, 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 blah. He didn't do it with all these different methods and models that these gurus are trying to tell you. No, he did it with a book. He did it with a personal brand selling information from his brain. And according to him, his portfolio of companies generates around $250 million a year. So in theory, the revenue from him doing this launch and selling some info crushed the revenue generated from the actual businesses that he has equity in when you account for time, and also the fact that he just has percentages of these businesses. And the magic about info, about namely digital products, yes, he sold physical books, but you could also just sell PDF, videos, programs, calls, things like that, is that you make an info product, a digital asset, once, and you can then sell it an infinite amount of times. And if you remember earlier when we talked about leverage, a little bit of effort to get a crazy reward, this is probably the biggest leverage offer, the biggest leverage business model you can do. Because let's say I was an expert on knitting. I could go and teach the other grandmas in my neighborhood how to knit, maybe make like $100 a week or something, have little classes. Or I could create content in a digital asset, an info product about knitting once, and sell it over and over and over to every grandma across the world and make a gazillion, fulfillion dollars, $1 dillion. That's so high that it's $1 dillion. They haven't even unlocked that word yet, but I made it because I sold my knitting offer. And that's what Hormozi did. He combined a high leverage product with the social leverage he has built, and it resulted in a cool 100 millikabilis. And all I have to say is, what is stopping you from doing this? You already have knowledge in your brain. You already have interests that you like talking about, that you like learning about, content you like to create. What is stopping you from building mass amounts of social leverage and combining with a high leverage product and making even a fraction, 1% of this is still $1 million? That would change your life. And the fact of the matter is, you don't have to be an expert in a space to do this. You just have to know how to build social leverage. Because the truth is, yes, I spent $6,000 on 200 books to donate, which I'll talk about in a second, but I wasn't actually buying books. I bought Hormozi. I bought every piece of content he's put out over the years that I've consumed. I bought every single piece of information or perspective shift that he has given me throughout the years as I consume the content. And it's the same reason why I have this channel to help teach people how to become digital sages, people that go out, build social leverage, create a highly valuable product and offer around it, and sell it to their audience. And the audience loves them for it because it helps them with whatever problems that avatar has. And if you want to learn more about how to do that, if you want my actual information that I've spent years and tens of thousands of dollars at this point gathering, as well as my direct help on building an undeniable personal brand, creating compelling content, and creating that business that runs in the background, selling these high leverage products, then go into the description and check out Audience Alchemy to learn a little bit more about exactly what I know and exactly how I can help you. But finally, let's talk about those 3 hidden tactics he used in his launch. The first one, you may have noticed that when he did his actual reveal of the $6,000 thing that he was selling, because the book is like $30, whatever, he didn't say, oh, you can buy my business playbooks for $6,000. He said, all you have to do is donate 200 books to other entrepreneurs that need it, and I will give you all my playbooks and my AI and all these other goodies for free. And he did it that way because it makes the purchaser feel altruistic. He's like, oh, I'm donating 200 books to people that need it, and I get all these goodies as a reward. I'm such a good person. Yippee. And what's funny is you actually then view Alex as a more altruistic person, even though you're still paying full price for the books. The books maybe cost $5 to $10 for him. You're buying it for $30 and you're donating it yourself. The second tactic, which most people sleep on, is that he made the whole thing fun. All of the content with the green guys and the morph suits, the fun live streams where they're doing all these different things, they're interacting with the comments, they're answering calls, and the giveaways he did on the live streams, every little aspect of it made the whole process of hearing his pitch and of buying and just of being part of this community, consuming this content, consuming this launch, fun. And the more fun you can make all these different steps and your offers and your content and your launches and your streams, the more dopamine the viewer, the audience member, the potential customer gets from going down every step of the journey. And the more dopamine they're getting, the more likely they are to proceed to the next step, and the just happier and overall enjoyment they experience when they're consuming your stuff. So make your shit fun. But to flip it to the dark side, there is a handful of somewhat dark psychology tactics that not only Hormozi uses, but almost all of the top creators and personal brands use in his content, in his offers, in his launches. And I can't break it all down in this video. So if you click the video on the screen right now, I will break down the 7 psychological tactics that you can use and that I have used to get over 100,000 subscribers, to make multiple 6-figure businesses. And you can literally just start putting these in your content and in your business today. It's on the screen right now. Click it, click it, click it. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye bye.